I know you've probably heard it before that us and Dave and Leslie are the last thing standing between you guys and happy hour, so we're happy to get started. Let's see if
the CTO can figure out the clicker.
I'll have to do the clicker. So hey everybody, I'm James Bright, CTO and co-founder of CampusESP, and I have to say that this is one of my favorite parts about being at CampusESP is I get to meet you all. I do exist. Yeah. It is a running joke, but I do like listening to your sessions and hearing your ideas and taking them back, and you'd be surprised at how many times I take them back and mysteriously they'll appear a couple weeks later. So, and with me today is Brooke.
Hi everyone, my name's Brooke Sterneck. I'm the VP of Product at CampusESP. I've been on the team for a little over 5 years, and one quick story I have to share is that I actually met Dave, our CEO, for the very first time ever in this room in Baltimore. I was here for a job fair for the Venture for America Fellowship Program that you might have heard about it. Some of our team comes from VFA. Dave was sitting in a booth over there. He had donuts, and at the time, Dave and James were the only employees at CampusESP. There were less than 10 schools using the platform. I thought he was pretty cool, but I was afraid to join a company that was so early, and it is awesome and very emotional to be back here today with 150 people signed up for this event and all the growth we've had over the last 5.5 years. Woo!
Dave, I'm glad you brought donuts. And I would just like to say thanks to the creative team. There's somewhere here been floating around. Claude's been a great addition as our mascot, so he'll be joining us as well from time to time today. I continue to be amazed at where we're at. I mean, I think Dave put together this morning, and we're over 250 customers, 265 or something. It's just, it just amazes me how big we've gotten, and that couldn't have been done without you all, obviously, but it's been a great journey, and we're glad that you're here with us. You keep me busy, almost 5.5 million users. A lot of work on the back end, making sure that things run smoothly. And you can see the breakdown of the different types of users. Brooke's very into doing that analysis. I know you guys want to see more details on the breakdown of that, and that is coming, but it's just great to see this growth. And almost 1 million active users this year alone to date. And in August, almost 900,000 active users. Brooke, do you want to explain what active users mean for those who might not know?
Yeah, so active users are parents who actually visit the site. You know, some parents are just opening emails or opening text messages, but some parents are logging on, seeking more information, engaging at a higher level. And this tells us that about 25% or more of our parent users are actively logging on and using the portal itself.
And it's probably no surprise to you all how engaged our users are, so that's great. And you all, you've heard me say this before, you all like to send a lot of email. That's great. Over 80 million to date. I'm anticipating you're going to have sent 100 million by the end of the year. That would be my guess. It's great. And I've been in the industry. I'm old, older than Dave, but only by like, you know, a couple months. But I've been in the industry for a while. These open rates are crazy. They really are. And I'm just stunned at how much email we send, but you know, people, they love seeing it, they love reading that content.
Take this. And you know, despite the high level of product utilization that shows CampusESP is a leader in parent engagement, we know the reason many of you engage with parents in the first place is to support student success. So these are the numbers we get really excited about. These are from 2 case studies that we did this year featuring results from 15 institutions, some of you who are here today, about the impact that CampusESP can have on student yield, 5% higher for students with a parent using CampusESP than average. And when parents are receiving updates about student progress, we see retention is 8% higher too. So we kind of wanted to start by sharing some of what James and I look at as the guiding product themes as we build features. First, we want to help you all connect with parents. Specifically, the way they want to be engaged. There were a lot of sessions today about Some parents prefer email, some prefer text, some want student data updates. So we want to help reach parents where they are. Really important also is helping you all continue to demonstrate the ROI of parent engagement, not just us showing you, but helping you bring it back to your institutions and leadership to show the impact of the work you do. But a really important theme for us is that we cannot do any of the work we do without customer feedback. So we thought it'd be fun to start with kind of a evolution of the CampusESP product and how our customers have helped guided us along the way. So some of you may see your faces up here or your institution. Give us a little cheer about the CampusESP product story. So it all started in 2015. Tarleton State University was the first CampusESP customer. They used family communication to engage parents of current students, and then FERPA management to help parents get updates about student progress. Becky Gray, the CIO of Tarleton, was our very first buyer and believer. She has since retired, but she just came to Philly a couple months ago and got drinks with Dave. Big Becky Gray fans at this team. And then over the next couple years, we continued to grow the product. At this point, 2019, we had a couple of dozen customers. One customer in particular, the University of Maryland. Is Brian Watkins and Danielle Walker, they still in here?
I saw a session. It was really
someone
good.
cheer for them. But they gave a session today on the work they've done with campaigns. So as some of you might have seen, they rely on sponsorships to help fund their department and help fund the cost of CampusESP. So they asked us to create campaigns or advertisements in their portal. It was a really foundational product change. I would guess every single person in this room uses advertisements now, if not for sponsorships, for FAFSA reminders, for nudges to visit campus on the enrollment side, to remind parents to register for events. So this has really become a really important part of our product. Around the same time, Cindy Hill at Penn State asked if we could support, Chris, come on, Penn State Abington, give us a cheer. There's Chris. Asked if she could do Family Weekend through CampusESP. And we were kind of like, oh crap, this is going to be awesome, but this is also a tremendous amount of users to test a new feature on. But Cindy trusted us, we trusted Cindy, and this is how the event management functionality came to light, the ability to create events, register users for events, sell tickets, follow up with users after the fact, and now most of our customers use event management in some capacity. Around the same exact time, we started working with Kennesaw State, Sharon Brownlow, and Chelsea Craig, who's now on the CampusESP team, and they also asked us for e-commerce, although in a slightly different use case. They were selling family association memberships, and they wanted CampusESP to help them grow their association and actually drive sales through the site. So this is how e-commerce came to light, and since this point, it's really grown. We see customers selling tickets, selling memberships, selling campus swag, and we now support e-commerce integration with CashNet, TouchNet, Authorized.net.
Yeah, I can't even remember all the different ones. I'll let you worry about that. And notice the lack of pictures. Like there still is James really exists yet up to this point.
Absolutely. I'll also call out, this is a picture from the first customer summit in 2019 when we had 12 attendees. In 2019, we really turned the focus to prospective parent engagement. We were seeing the huge impact that families have along the enrollment process, and we wanted to help schools leverage that super high parent involvement and influence. At the end of 2019, we launched the first ever official student enrollment module with Mary Beth Marks at UNO. Now she's at Pacific. She's also not in the room anymore, but I'm sure many of you saw Mary Beth present today, and thanks for the cheers. This has been a tremendously impactful update for CampusESP and for many of you, and now over 50% of our customers use CampusESP to engage parents of prospective students. We've continued to build out the product. Last year was a big year for feature development. We added announcements, advanced designer for more sophisticated and customized emails. We added drip announcements, which are a great way to set up automated campaigns, especially on the enrollment side. As parents move through the funnel, they get automatic updates based on where their students are at. We added user exports, which are more advanced user queries. And for this slide, I found the picture that had the most Campus ESP users in it because so many of you requested these updates, and pretty much every single one of you are using these features now. In this year, as many of you heard today, SMS has been the biggest product update of this year. Last summer, we did a product survey. Customers told us that SMS was the #1 feature request they had. And no less than 8 months later, James' team had fully developed SMS, and we had it live for you all to use. And here's where, after an awesome beta group featuring some of you here today, Joe, there we go, Muhlenberg and Allison Williams became the first person to buy our new SMS module. There she is.
Fun fact, one of our interns is from Muhlenberg. Thank you.
And James and I are working on a lot of new features now, some of which we'll cover today, but one of the other major projects we're working on is parent giving. We are running a beta test with 6 customers, including Kira from Catholic, who's sitting over there. And this is going to be a way to help identify major gift donors and use Campus ESP to push out solicitations, such as Giving Tuesday, which is something we're going to be testing in a couple weeks. So Dave kind of stole my thunder with this slide, but this shows, 7 years in the making, how the product has evolved. We really influence every step of the student life cycle, from generating parent interest at the top of the funnel and student interest, to yield, to anti-melt, and student persistence towards graduation, the way parents and families can continue to support the university philanthropically or otherwise. Campus ESP has really grown into the #1 solution for parent engagement. And of course, you all know just the absolute influence parents have, influencing their students, influencing other parents, and influencing all sorts of institutional outcomes. So here we're going to switch gears and review some of the big features that we developed this year. Some of you may be using these. So of course, we've heard a lot about SMS today. There were a lot of reasons we built SMS. Customers asked for it, parents asked for it, but this stat on the slide was by far the #1 driver for our team, that 50%, nearly 50% of Black, Hispanic, first generation, and low-income families prefer SMS. This was data from 2021. This morning, Raquel from RNL revealed data from 2022, which tells the exact same story, that if these are the demographics you're trying to reach, text messaging is the #1 way to get in front of them. Just kind of a quick overview on what we mean when we talk about texting in Campus ESP. First, there's the ability to develop SMS campaigns. So for any of you who have ever built an email campaign in Campus ESP, super similar. You set your target audience, you pick when you want it to go out, you write the message. One major difference is that we support two-way conversation with families. So this is a great way for parents to ask questions. It's a great way to troubleshoot. We've seen some kind of crazy circumstances of families reaching out in moments of crisis and being able to get a hold of an institution and get like a pretty serious student success issue resolved via text message. We will ping you when parents text you back, so you don't have to worry about logging in and checking. But if that scares you, if you don't have the capacity to manage that, we could also turn on autoresponders so you can let parents know that you're not monitoring the SMS inbox. Opt-in management, this may not be the sexiest feature, but is extremely important. There is a lot of compliance with texting.
Gotta follow the rules, Brooke.
James makes sure we follow the rules. The reason SMS is one of the reasons texting is such a successful way to reach people is because there's no spam. When you think about your spam inbox on email, and then you think about the text messages you receive from companies, it's only companies that you have opted in to receive text messages from. So it's a super duper clean channel, and that's why the opt-in process is important. So we help make sure that everything's opt-in compliant, but more importantly, we remind parents that they should opt in to receive text messages. And then lastly, measuring the results. Of course, that's super important. We'll show you who's opted in, how it's grown over time, how campaigns are performing with sends and clicks and replies. And something I know is that some other texting vendors, not to be mentioned, do not provide click tracking, because that's something that's very, very complicated to do with texting. But James and his team figured out a way to show click performance, which kind of leads to the next and final slide about SMS. This is one of my favorite results ever with CampusESP. The average click rate on text campaigns is 43%.
Let that sink in. That's not open rate.
It's not open rate, it's click rate. And like related to the fact that everyone's always on their phone, the channels are less spammy. People, I mean, think about your own usage on your phone. People pretty much open up every single text message, except for some of those people who have like hundreds of unread messages. You all freak me out. But people pretty much open every single text message they receive, and then we see that they're clicking on them at extremely high rates too. So that leads to all sorts of positive outcomes when it comes to trying to get a parent to do something. So some of the outcomes we've seen from our first few schools using SMS is at Muhlenberg, family weekend registrations increased 50% after sending one text message. At Pacific, they saw an increase in deposits after sending a reminder to families. And Utah State has done a really good job of engaging very top of the funnel prospective families, and they saw a 34% click rate on a top of the funnel reminder to even register for an open house. Moving on.
All right, yeah, so thanks, Brooke. Another big improvement that we focused on is improving the personalization by allowing you to go ahead and do mail merge. So you can take, and it's pretty smart on how it does this. You can take your campaigns, you can address it to the parents, but you can say, Dear James, welcome to the in-person event that we're having. And then also, if you don't have that information, which happens from time to time, you got a reasonable default, so you can say, dear family member, if you don't happen to have that information. Not only do we have this in the announcements, but we also have this for SMS campaigns, along with the click tracking that Brooke was talking about before. So pretty happy with what we did there with SMS. And another big feature that came from you all was improvements that we made to content administrators. So if you remember from earlier when Raquel was talking about getting content in front of parents, we want to make it easier for you to leverage the people that are supporting you. So if you have a lot of people helping you build content, they want to get notified when that content gets approved or if it needs to get revised for some reason. And then if you're a content author, obviously you want to see what you've written, and in some cases maybe you notice a typo, so now you can go in and you can just make that change. It'll go through the normal approval process like you would expect. Special shout out to Arizona but I know this was requested by a lot of you all, but they were the ones that promised me tickets, so I did it for them. We also, the e-commerce, as Brooke was talking about the first time that we did it, we were surprised at how successful it was. It was maybe a little bit too successful, so we had to go back and add some real things that were being requested, like custom and line item refund. So you could refund before, but you just couldn't say, I need to give this person a 10% discount, or I need to refund this single line item. Now you can do that. And I'm now painfully aware, thank you UNC, about how popular football games are. We won't oversell anymore. That's been addressed. That was a hard-learned lesson. And then we're doing more in the e-commerce reporting and better ways to do cancellations and manage your orders and new payment providers to support you all. So we're up to like 5 or 6 or 7 different payment providers at this point. So if if this is something you're interested in, this is not an upcharge to add this, and we're happy to do that for you. Of course, we work on a lot of other things, so there's honorable mentions that I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on, but just want to touch on briefly. We talked about the tracking was previously only on advanced announcements and SMS, but now every announcement that you create, even if you do the quick basic one, will include tracking. We tweaked PPS, so it does show a little bit better engagement. It was really good before, and we've made the refinements there. I was surprised today. I was at a session, I forget whose session it was, but they were talking about registration events. And we added one specific feature that you can set up rules now that'll also not only join a community if you answer something, but if you don't answer it, you can leave a community if you answer it differently. And a lot of people are using that, and I didn't even know how popular that was. So that's been rolled out, and that's great. And some basic stuff that we needed to do to support time zones. I know of one big vendor who I won't name that doesn't support it yet. I'm not sure why. And a bunch of bug fixes and the normal stuff that you would expect.
And, you know, of course, we love getting customer feedback, so we ask you every summer, how's it going? What do you like? What are we missing? What do you think of what we've released? And this summer, you told us that 91% of you are either satisfied or very satisfied with our product releases. So
I'm looking for that other 9%. We'll fix that.
He's inspired. But kudos to James and his team for rolling out, you know, well-developed and highly used features from our customers. Okay, we'll let the applause come in.
Now the good stuff.
What you're really here for is what are we building next? So I could say we're cooking up a lot of enhancements, some of which are further along and which we're ready to share today. So starting with some of the smaller ones, we are continually working on improving security. And one of our big coming security updates is multi-factor authentication. You've probably all used this before with other products, but we're going to help users verify their identity by receiving a text message. This is something we'll have MFA for other administrative users. We'll have MFA for parent users, but this is optional. We're not going to automatically turn it on for you, but we do highly encourage this as a modern, you know, security requirement. We're also making a big change called student relation tracking, and you may not, I see some faces, some faces in the front. You may not know exactly what this means, but I know this solves a pain point that several customers have brought up. A lot of you are importing student data onto the parent profile. You want to know which students belong to which parents, and you're putting in name, ID as custom fields on the parent profile. Works pretty well when you have one student, but if parents have multiple students at the institution, it can get tricky to accurately track the whole family. So we're just building an entire new feature that is going to be a much more accurate way to import student records onto the parent profile, export student records, and support one-to-many relationships, which makes it super accurate and easy to see multiple students that belong to multiple parent and family members.
Yeah. Thank you. Come on. Oh no, it went off.
Clicker's dead?
Yeah, the clicker just went off. Is there a power button on it? Oh no.
Are you playing a trick on us, James?
No, you broke the internet, Brooke. AV people. Side.
Do you think we can ad-lib the rest of this?
Nah, we got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. We'll work through it. We're a startup. We're used to adversity. Yeah, right. So user targeting may not sound super sexy, but it drives a lot of our targeting and the way that you can deliver your content. And you can go ahead and just go through all of the bullet points for this one. It works well, don't get me wrong. It allows you, essentially, you can pick right now about 4 options and do some combination. You can get pretty specific, and a lot of the changes we made, again, came directly from you all, but we know we can do better. And I'm pretty happy with what we're doing, and I'm pretty excited to reveal what we've been working on. Introducing dynamic user targeting. So this is a preview. I'm going to show you a little bit about what's coming. Next slide, please. But it's going to be like you're used to. Right now, most people, when they send out an announcement or they're going to send out a text message, they start with the community. And that's fine. You'll be able to do that. That's easy for everybody to use. But if you're a power user, and we do have some power users, I know you want to do more, and I know you want to refine that. So we support adding additional criteria. So you'll have this little button. You can click on Add New Criteria. Keep on going. And you're going to get a choice to take not only, target by this community, but you'll be able to add other things and refine it further. So you could say, oh, I want to target with community. I want to look at also the PPS score, their activity date, their connection status. I want to target students that are connected or maybe are parents that aren't connected.
I just want to call out that all of these bullet points are brand new targeting options that we are adding that have not previously existed. There's also even more on this side, but I'm pretty sure I'm blocking it. So in addition to having the rules like build on top of each other in a more sophisticated way, we're also adding a bunch of new ways to segment users.
Okay. So right, more targeting is more personalization, and you can get as specific as you want. I mean, in this case here, we're looking at, I wanted to find all parents who are first-year parents and first generation. They joined within the last 30 days, and they have a PPS score between 50 and 75. And from talking to you all, you're going to use this in ways that I haven't even thought of yet, and that's great. I love seeing that. And if you think about it, what if you took this user targeting and you made that target and create a dynamic community? Now, I'm not saying that we've got that yet, and I'm not saying that I coded something this weekend, but imagine if you could take that population and that is a community that you can now target and add content to and do all the other things you can do with communities. It would be pretty powerful if that were to hypothetically exist.
I'm not saying I didn't get late night Slack messages on Saturday night that James was building something awesome.
There might have been whiskey involved. But wait, Mark says there's more. Oh, okay. I was going to hand you this, but...
Do you have a new clicker?
Oh, she's going to fix it.
Regretting how many animations we put in this section.
It sounded good at the time.
This is what we call the admin landing page. Everyone in this room has seen this before. It's fine. There's some changes we wanted to make. We wanted to make it more personalized to your institution type and what data you care about. We wanted to put more data on this page and help you find the reports that are most important to you. And overall, we wanted to just make it more slick and easy to use. So we are introducing a new feature called performance dashboards, which are going to be the new admin landing page. So you can think about this as your all-in-one place to view key metrics, take core actions, and measure ROI. So when we said at the beginning of this presentation that we have a big update for ROI, this is it. We might have a working clicker now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just in time for all the animations. So we are introducing this new idea of widgets. Each widget is going to be a different mini report or chart or graph, and the admin dashboard is going to be comprised of a whole set of widgets that your team cares about. So some of the widgets we're adding to the homepage are user growth over time. We want to make sure to show the trend lines, but also give you the actual number of where things are at now. We're adding this new widget called Top Announcements. Some of the feedback we got from customers is that you just want a more easy way to see what content has performed best. James mentioned earlier we've sent 82 million emails this year. Some of you send an email every week, so really just helping boil up for you which emails are performing best. So top announcements will call out your top 5 announcements, but top 5 may mean different things to different people. So you're actually going to be able to completely filter these reports to do top 5 by number of sends, or top 5 by open rate, or top 5 by click rate, and that may look different school to school. We're also doing something similar, calling out top performing posts in the portal, top performing advertisements in the portal by impressions and clicks. If you're using SMS, parent conversations that are waiting for you for a response. If you use CampusESP on the enrollment side, we're going to take that enrollment funnel that you're used to seeing and put a snapshot on the home page to make it easier to see how many users are in the funnel and whether it's time for another data import. We're also going to put some yield and conversion metrics on the home page. And if you're using FERPA, we're going to put student connection results. And there's even more than this that's ready to go. There's even more than this that James and I are in the process of developing. And one thing that's really cool about this new widget platform is that we can continue to build more and more and more reports. I'm sure as soon as you all start using this, you're going to ask us for more reports, and it's an easy way for us to just drop in new reports that you can start using.
Yeah, my team hates me right now because I keep on adding new back-end criteria.
Awesome. Awesome to the new criteria, not awesome to James being hated by his team.
They'll be fine.
Just like a couple other points about how this works. So first, the way we're going to set this up is that when we launch this in the next few months, all of your portals are going to be pre-populated with a template dashboard. We are not going to expect you to all build one from scratch, but we're going to create a couple different templates based on how people use CampusESP. So there'll be a template dashboard for current parents, one for prospective parents, one for both, and all the other iterations. But you all are going to be able to create your own dashboard and edit the dashboards that we've created for you. So first, really important, you could customize it. Another problem we wanted to solve is that different admins will be able to view unique dashboards. This was built especially for the schools that have student affairs contacts and enrollment contacts splitting usage of the portal. We want to make sure that people can see the reports that matter the most to them. And basically, there's going to be this widget library, so you can select from a handful of widgets that you would like to put on your dashboard. And then lastly, another element that was asked for by customers is the ability to further filter these reports, not just plop a widget on your dashboard, but edit what the widget looks like. So you'll be able to adjust the time frame, you'll be able to adjust which users are included in the report, and one really important update that many of you have told us you want, we are working on it, is the ability to segment the data based on current parents and prospective parents. So not only, I see some head nods, not only will you have your own report, your own dashboards, but the actual data making up the widgets could be completely different between the dashboards. Sorry, I forgot the Claude animation.
Yeah.
Claude likes this too.
I had fun with Claude. It was a good time. So yeah.
Absolutely was a good time. And that's really it for what's coming. All these features that we just showed, we're planning on rolling out in the next couple months, and we're super excited to bring them to you and get your feedback and keep telling us what you need.
Thanks. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure how many people are Steve Jobs or Tim Cook fans, but they used to have this running thing at Apple events where there'd be one more thing. And I wanted to leave everybody with something that I'm very passionate about, and that is user experience. I say to engineers that I train and hire that the most important interface is the interface between the computer and the human. And we have invested a lot of effort in what we're going to be rolling out over the next year, which is an improved admin experience. We've got a user experience expert working with us on this, so it's not just going to be, it'll look pretty, but it's also going to be a lot easier to use and get you the information that you need quicker. So we wanted to share a couple of screens with you of what's going to be rolled out. So you can see this is a sample of what the announcements might look like. It'll look something probably similar to this, and we're going to add some other features and stuff that you probably haven't heard about yet, like reoccurring announcements and some other goodies. But it's going to guide you through the process better, and you will have, this is an enhanced version of that dashboard that we were just talking about. You'll be able to move the widgets around, put them wherever. We'll have multiple themes, so they can be a dark theme and a light theme, and just make this all easy for you at your fingertips to do what you need to do to get your job done. So I'm excited about this. I hope you guys get excited about it. I really, really enjoy the summit sessions. I get energized from it, and a lot of good ideas from what you guys are doing. So thank you so much. And now it's really done.
All right. Thank you.
Was everyone else just as mind blown by that last screen as I was? I see Libby over there with a smile, but you look a little freaked. Don't worry, it'll be fine. It's going to be great, in fact.
Going to be great.
Yeah.